I'm filming this from my friend's house in Sligo in the west of Ireland. I've decided that I'm going to move back to Sligo. I haven't lived in Sligo for many, many years. I think it's about 9 years, it could be even more than 9 years. It's a place that I absolutely love. It's a heart-centered place for me. I have a lot of very soul-enriching memories here. I lived here in my 20s and I met some of the most amazing people, soul connections. I did amazing work, jobs, adventures and experiences here. So I'd like to talk with you for a moment about decisions. Let's call this the power of decisions. I feel that there's two types of decisions in life. This is what I've discovered anyway for myself. There are decisions that you have to live through. You have to, before you know what to do, before the path opens, before the steps light up, you have to live out your life, live through those changes. It's a slower process. It's a more methodical, slower way to turn that corner into that decision. And then there's the other type of decision, which is where you've been dragging your feet, the energy's stagnant, and it's just time to make a decision and back that decision up with clear, concise action. That's a more dramatic approach to decision making. And I feel that there is a time for both at different times in our lives. And that's where a good reader, a good intuitive counselor, a good healer, shaman can step in and help you. Because I think if you get those mixed up, it can cause a lot of problems. So to save yourself a lot of trouble, it's good to tune into yourself, tune into your guides, or book a session with a good shaman like myself and see which one it is. Is it a time to make a clear decision and then back up that decision with productive action and commit to that? And that type of decision now, you need to really commit to that. There's no room for wishy-washiness with that kind of choice that you're making. And it is a choice, all decisions obviously are choices. And it's about really owning that and being secure in that choice. And no matter what happens, no matter how the chips fall, backing that up with a momentum of commitment behind that choice that you've made. The other decision, the slower one, the one that I think, well, for me anyway, I definitely don't enjoy as much. I like the dramatic, on the point focus of decision making. But there's times in life, periods in my life, like everybody else, where I had to move through the discomfort and transform and live out where I was at that time until the choice became clearer. If the water is muddy and if the air is foggy and smoky, you're just going to have to put one foot in front of the other and move forward and walk forward on faith and trust, and trusting that the universe does have your back. The universe is your best friend. So that's important. Knowing which type of choice or decision way to move forward, that's the big one. And I think when you get that part right, whatever way you go will work out for you and will flesh out and will be a magical experience. So for the last few years, I was very tied up in Wicklow, in Dublin. I had commitments, I had responsibilities, I had work. I was running a business. I was working with special needs children and teenagers, and I had all those commitments. But in the back of my mind, there was always this lovely little fantasy, this lovely little dream of moving back to my beloved Sligo in the west of Ireland. But it wasn't the right time. I had to live through where I was at that time. You know, that's an example of what I'm talking about. I had to commit to where I was, you know, in Greystones, in Bray, and sometimes in Dublin, to fully experience the lessons that my soul wanted to have from those places and people and experiences there. And I knew, again, I suppose being very strong, intuitive, I knew that the time would be ripe again for Sligo, but it wasn't at that time, and I knew that it was some time away because I could feel it. When you're making a choice and making a decision, it's important that you feel it, that you check in with your body, try on your decisions, try on your choices, check in with the solar plexus, with the gut, you know, with the heart chakra. How does that feel? And trusting whatever. And even though the mind, like my mind was saying, oh, I really want, like, I'd visit Sligo and I'd visit friends, and I would, you know, my mind would be like, oh, I really want to stay here, or I hate going back, but I knew in my body, in my bones, that it wasn't the divine timing for that to happen at that time. And I trusted that, and by trusting that, I've now come to a time where it's perfect timing. It's right for me. It's you know, those seeds have been planted and it's time for harvest. And that's working with the rhythms of life and working with the rhythms of your soul. So then it was just a matter of the decision makes itself. You know, you don't even need to pump much into it, because when everything is lined up, when you're in alignment, and when that choice is just ripe to pop, the commitment and the action to back that up just flows naturally. It moves naturally from you, and it's this magical dance of alignment and balance and harmony and the excitement of a new adventure. So that's the message I have for you today. So if you stumbled across this video and you're procrastinating over a decision or what to do, take the advice I've given here. I feel it was very inspired by the angels today to give this little chat about decisions, the power of decisions. And just to note that, you know, if you're not strong in your choice and in your decision, and you don't commit to that 100%, the universe, the physical reality will match that. It will mirror and reflect that back to you. So it's important that you back up. I mean, first inwardly, you know, inwardly, energetically, inside yourself. Back that up with complete faith, trust, knowing, feel it in your bones, this is the right thing for you to do at this time. And I just want to wish you all a beautiful February eclipse. Do allow whatever is being eclipsed out of your life to go. Let the door close. Wish it well. Send it love. And also allow the opening of the new doors and the rebirth. And here in Ireland, we are going into spring, which is wonderful, even though we've had snow the last few days. It's great to have I was out in the woods a lot the last 2 weeks, and seeing the little buds come up and seeing the flowers sprout, you know, just seeing those little inklings and twinklings of flora and fauna starting to awaken out of the soil and out of the winter into the spring is just such a heart expanding and beautiful thing to witness. So happy decision making and powerful decision making. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate your decision to give it a thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe to my channel for more little inspirations and spiritual guidance and updates from me. And if you wish to contact me for a Skype session, if you live abroad or if you want to come to me in person, we can set that up. So email me at elemental7star@gmail.com or go to my website at www.aoibheanndoyle.com. That's AOIBHEANNDOYLE.com. and I will chat to you then. Namaste.